Ty Jerome and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And yes, that is Ty Jerome in the Cleveland Cavaliers. They end up pulling away late from Toronto in this one to get their 17th win in 18 games. And I just can't speak highly enough of Ty Jerome at this point. He ties for the team lead with Donovan Mitchell in scoring. Goes 9 for 14 from the field, 4 for 8 from three, 26 points, 6 assists, 4 steals. And I think we need to like kind of talk about what the goal is of the most improved player award, right? The most improved player award should be handed out to the guy who actually like showcases the most improvement. Not necessarily just like the young guy who takes the leap, in my opinion. And to me, this year, Franz Wagner, I think could have done a lot of what he's doing right now last year. It's just he played with Paulo and he's getting a crazy amount of opportunity now. He's obviously figured out some shot things again, which is important to bring up. But by and large, I think that what Franz Wagner is doing is stuff that like he probably could have come close to approximating last year. Ty Jerome missed most of last year, averaged 2 points per game in the couple of games he did play. And over the previous 2 years, he's averaging like 7 points per game and like 2.5 assists. After tonight, Ty Jerome's going to be averaging like 12.5 points, shooting 59, 55, 86. And look, I don't think the shooting's going to hold up that high level. I mean, he shot 4 for 8 from three tonight and his shooting percentage from three went down, right? That's not going to last the whole year. But for the first, quarter of the season here, fifth of the season, whatever you want to call it, I don't think there's been a more improved player in terms of what has actually happened on the court than Ty Jerome. If you look at his like EPM numbers right now, in terms of like what he's providing on the season for his team, and this is just like completely bonkers, so like take this with a grain of salt. Ty Jerome right now is the 5th best per minute player basically in the NBA. Look, he's not that, obviously, but when you're this efficient, where he's making 68% of his shots from the mid-range, 54% of his shots from three, getting to the line, making his free throws, doing a good job passing, very rarely turning the ball over, getting a ton of steals. His hand-eye coordination is absolutely fantastic. I don't know. I think that there has not been an NBA player who has improved more this year than what Ty Jerome has showcased. We'll see if it lasts, but I wanted to give Ty Jerome some love because I have adored watching him play basketball this season. And he's more than just a shooter is the thing. Like if you watch him at Virginia, if you watch him with the Warriors, like he's a real point guard. Now, like ball pressure can bother him, but by and large, he is like a real guard who can play with the ball in his hands. This one is just sick. The Cavs run like a couple of staggers here to get Sam Merrill the ball. Shout out Sam Merrill. Hoping to get him an open three here. Instead, he just kind of curls off of it and comes downhill. I love how Ty Jerome's just constantly relocating. You see him start here, go up here, come down here, looking for the ball, trying to create an opportunity for Merrill to get him the ball, trying to create an opportunity just for Merrill to maybe, end up getting an option on his own, right? I mean, he just absolutely cashes this step back. Like, look, that's not always going to go in. But a lot of what Ty Jerome has done this year, I think, is actually pretty generally translatable and repeatable. Here, we're just going to get a double drag in transition from Jerome. He's going to come off of it. He's got Grady Dick on him. And this is just nasty. These are like the little moves that Ty Jerome does that, I just adore. So the gallop step. His eyes are this way. He's trying to find Niang. He can see here he's got Allen coming in to kind of set like a seal screen there. Eyes are still over that way. He still can throw this ball out to Niang. And then he realizes, okay, Jakob Poeltl is just a little too high up here. I'm just going to be able to go and get it myself. Goes and gets it himself. Great finish. Great touch around the basket, just not super athletic. This one, you know, again, weird camera stuff ended up kind of not getting us a full view of this. But just attacks Davion Mitchell's dribble here. It's the combination of things here that I love. So the hesitation, like gallop step, first and foremost, like does a good job of kind of getting both of these guys on their heels, right? Then look at the shoulder move, the little off arm you saw there, kind of shoves it that way. Then he looks back this way. Poeltl just kind of assumes that this is going to be a kick out. It's not. Ty Jerome just goes up, finishes. An awesome player. I love him. Jerome gets kind of stopped up here. And we're going to come back to him again. If you make one mistake, he is one of those guys that is such a good shooter that you really just can't make a mistake and not be up on him. And that makes him valuable just from a spacing perspective, right? So, you know, one screen here. Stop. Probably could have taken a shot here, but doesn't. Then you get Merrill shooting through the play here. But Jerome realizes that there's a help defender there. Then we're going to get back into a DHO to get the dribble live again. And this essentially becomes just like an inflow stack DHO ball screen kind of situation where Jerome can come here, Allen can roll, and then Merrill's coming up here. This is what makes the Cavs offense so fun is all of these shooters, right? And the way that they flow from one action to another. Now we get into another one, right? And Chris Boucher just makes that one mistake, that one extra step this way. And that leaves Jerome too open. If you're not up on him, you're dead. He's too good of a shooter. This one does a pretty good job contesting. Then just look at him get that arm in there for the steal. Gets the hand directly on the ball. Great hand-eye coordination. And now you're running Niang, Merrill, out to Mobley. Jerome, great contested rebound here. By the way, kind of a, you know, side swipe here. This play here is kind of an encapsulation of why I'm a little bit worried about Mobo. Just a touch as a player, right? Just doesn't have like a crazy amount of lift. Like he's able to get contested here by Sam Merrill going up for a dunk or like a, you know, lay in right at the rim, whatever we want to call it. Just doesn't have the kind of lift that I would want for a guy to like, that's probably going to have to play a little bit of center at times. Jerome, contested rebound. Now he's going to go. And just look at that fucking pass. Look, the ball doesn't go in. I don't really care. Like, he sees this angle here. He sees he's got this window, but he knows this window is going to close down. He has to put this ball with the perfect amount of velocity and touch to be able to get this ball out to the shooter here. He has to get it over Jamal Shed as Mobley crashes in for the screen and has to put it directly in the shooting pocket because Scotty Barnes or Shed is the one closing out, and both of them cover ground incredibly quickly. That is an insane pass. That is not one of his 6 assists. It was his best pass of the game, though. Jalen Tyson's here now. I mean, just look at the fucking fakes. Look at all of this. There's so much sauce here. That's the key. There's so much sauce to what he does. Early pass fake here gets Davion Mitchell over this way, trying to go for a steal. Opens up the lane. Now he drives. He's got Pirtle coming this way. He just rips this pass here to Jared Allen. I mean, there's just so much flair, sauce, whatever you want to call it, to what Jerome does. He's just an incredibly fun basketball player. Now we're attacking Grady Dick. Grady Dick, unfortunately, this year has not been a particularly great defender. That's why Scotty Barnes ends up kind of helping off, I would guess. So is this a bad help by Scotty? Honestly, probably. Given that he's guarding Darius Garland, who's shooting 42% from 3. But Barnes comes in here, and Jerome just feels it, stops, pump fakes, and gets this ball out to an elite shooter, 3, Cash. He's just always looking. Super unselfish player, can play both on and off the ball. Ball's out here now. Again, just that little nasty hesitation step into that push shot floater. Just look at this hezzy. Hang dribble. Boom. Gonna get here. Freezes Scotty there. The way he decelerates as well is one thing I want to call out. Really stops, kind of digs into the ground here a little bit, then goes up. An elite mid-range player. Another double drag here. He feels the help, collapse in on him. This is just kind of an easy read here. So double drag. Jerome comes here. How does Toronto play it? Toronto's one of the worst defenses in the league, so like keep all of that in mind here. They decide to have Grady Dick fight over it. But while Grady is fighting over it, they have this defender here and drop. And then it kind of turns into like a pseudo stack where Mobley is screening, sealing, whatever you want to call it, for Mitchell to come out here. Mobley doesn't even really hit the seal onto Mitchell. But Jerome gets the kick out. Easy 3. Just very simple. Let's get to a quick little note from Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money action. There are over 10 million members. Like I said a second ago, they invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks always puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. We are big fans of Prize Picks here. We absolutely love the app and what they're doing for the daily fantasy sports scene. Download the app today and use code Game Theory to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use that code Game Theory to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn a very liberal 4.5% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth for just $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For specific product disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. Still all in the first half, by the way. Ty Jerome was nasty today. Now we're just drilling threes in Grady Dick's face because why aren't we? Key here I wanted to point out. 2 for 1. Jerome realizes, okay, I've got this little bit of space. 2 for 1 opportunity. Why not take the shot here? Give my team an extra possession. Really smart. Just a super high IQ basketball player on offense. Honestly, this one I just put on here because, I mean, what in the entire fuck, Darius Garland? This is an assist for Jerome. Left hand, live dribble, bounce pass. Great, right? Impressive. Grady Dick, gets caught on the screen, whatever. I mean, look at this. This is an inside out, low to the ground. Bam. That is how you do it. Boucher is out of his shoes. Easy floater. I mean, Christ. That is sick. Now we've got Jerome trying to post Shed here. We're going to get a screen. Shed does a great job getting through the screen. Fights through. But Jerome's just a strong basketball player. It's hard to guard him with these smaller players. Like Ty Jerome's like 6'4" and a half, 6'5", something like that. He can take advantage of these mismatches with guys that are like 6'0", 6'1", whatever they are, right? So Jerome, this is the one place where you can get him. I put this on here just to showcase, like, look, not a perfect basketball player, right? You can get him with ball pressure. So Scotty just like absolutely makes his life miserable coming up the floor. He has to throw this like kind of lofting pass because look at where he picked up the ball, right? Would I love to see someone come get the ball from him? Yes, but like also, I mean, he's like coffin cornered over here by one defender, right? So that's hard. That's really the one place where, look, like Ty Jerome, probably not like some, not going to be some star player necessarily. Not going to be the 5th best player in the league like EPM has him right now. But the ability to play both on and off the ball, I mean, the decel here, just look at the ability to slow down. The slow step is nasty. This was a critical play for them, kind of a run stopper. As it says here on the screen, Toronto gone like a little 10-2 run to get this thing back to 3. And now we're running a 1-2 screen for Ty Jerome to come back, crossover, reject, get into a Euro step, slow step. I think he uses Euro steps about as well as, any bench guard in the league. Like his ability to use that slow step is sick. Then gets to the right hand, drills that little mid-range floater again. Third quarter again here. Dealing with Jamal Shed, great ball pressure defender. Perfect kick out, gets the penetration against an awesome ball screen defender. Awesome one-on-one defender in Shed. Look at that, gets the paint touch right there on the edge of the paint. Obviously, what we have going on here for Toronto defensively, not ideal. Not ideal. I mean, Mobo just kind of falls asleep here on George Niang. There's no reason to help there. Can't leave the wide open shooter. Now we've got Jerome out in transition again. And now we're just stopping and popping and drilling threes. Just look at him. He seriously has so much swag, so much sauce. Like, absolutely knows the moment, feels the moment. You could see that at Virginia too. Then this one. I mean, just the pump fakes, the hesitations, the Euro steps. This one kind of combines it all, right? This is a great play to finish on. Unbelievable floor spacer. Unbelievable shooter. Pump fakes it. Scotty Barnes somehow ends up in the stands on this pump fake. I mean, it's a good pump fake. Don't get me wrong, but like, I'm not totally sure why he's in the stands on it. Then we're going to attack. We're going to get downhill. Sees Grady Dick help. Euro step around. Or you could just hit Jared Allen, right? But he sees, I think, that Davion Mitchell is sprinting back. Probably thinks the safer move here is just Euro step. Go up. Finish. That's 24. I don't think there's anybody who has improved more than Ty Jerome this year. He is an awesome basketball player right now for the Cavs. He's a critical player for them. And he opens up options for them too at the deadline. Having him, having Karis LeVert, having Sam Merrill, having, Okoro and Dean Wade, having Craig Porter, right? He's the most indispensable of that group right now to me. Jalen Tyson as well, obviously, right? In terms of the guys on the court who are helping them, the Cavs have a ton of dudes off the bench in addition to their 4 guys, right? That's why they're 17-1 after this game. They have a lot of guys who can come off the bench and play real minutes. But I also think that because they have so many guys, and a lot of these guys are like unselfish dudes, right? Like Ty Jerome is an unselfish dude. Sam Merrill, Craig Porter, George Niang, like these guys who have been around the league for a while now, kind of had to hunt and find the right spot, right? Had to hunt and find the right location for them to eventually be successful. Isaac Okoro, was a 5th overall pick, but has had to fight for a spot through his career to this point. These guys don't really care if they play or not, but it also opens up options for them. This is a team that obviously doesn't have a ton of pick capital in terms of first rounders to make trades with after the Donovan Mitchell deal. But they have all these youngish dudes that could open up avenues depending on how all in they want to go this season. The issue for the Cavs long-term right now is that all of, unfortunately, Sam Merrill, Ty Jerome, I think one other one is a unrestricted free agent this summer. So they're going to have to figure out how to keep all these guys, how to keep them. And, maybe Dan Gilbert just pays, just decides we want to keep this group together, give them as much leeway as they can. God knows that those mortgage loans have allowed Dan Gilbert to build a crazy amount of wealth. Shout out Locked On Cavs. LeVert's the UFA after this year. That's 100% what it is. Look, those mortgage loans have given Dan Gilbert every opportunity to be able to pay these guys if they want to. And if they think that they can go into the second apron because they have the team. So far, it feels like they have the team. We'll see if that ends up being true in the playoffs. Kenny Atkinson, though, has been huge for them. We even just saw little things like them flowing into a stack pick and roll, little things like on offense with their spacing, their willingness to play guys like Sam Merrill and Ty Jerome more often that don't necessarily have the defensive bona fides. So I'm interested to see what the Cavs do throughout the rest of the season in terms of building this roster, figuring out who they have, figuring out who they don't have. This is a great team. This is a truly like awesome team that's going to win like 55 games plus, maybe more this year. They are every reason to believe in the hype when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers.